Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is sort of random. I was recording a bunch of stuff, and I figured I wanted to show this in case people were interested. And no, I was not paid to do this. I get no incentive from doing this. I bought this myself long ago. It is spendy, about $70 and stuff, which is a lot for a book, but I have one for Nintendo here, which if people want to see me flip through that, let me know. I think I did a video like this before, but it's been so long I can't remember. But this is the Super Nintendo one, and I'm trying to film it this way to show you. A guy named Pat Contry got this together. Yes, that is Pat the NES Punk. Some people don't care for him. I do. I like his YouTube channel. I may not agree with all that he says, but I think he does a good job with a lot of his stuff. Him and his friend Ian Ferguson have done a great job on their podcast. Again, I don't always agree with their opinion on stuff, but that's with everybody on YouTube, so go figure. But I think they did a great job, like this whole Amico and television clusterfuck. They did a fantastic job covering that, among other stuff. And this is a book that's worth the ultimate name. And just to show you a bit, number one, you got a great cover. Hardcover, sturdy, doesn't feel like it will fall apart in your hands, doesn't feel like it's going to just slip away. You could literally kill someone with this book. Bah! That'd be great for a crime scene. How was he killed? With a Nintendo book. Or in this case, a Super Nintendo book. Now, I grew up with the Super Nintendo, so this was really cool to see. I also like that no pages are wasted. This right here could have been just blank or white, blue, whatever color. No, let's not waste any inch. So let's have some, from back to the day, advertisement you would see in magazines of Super Nintendo games. Now, table of contents, understandable. You see all the numbers. Easy to find what you're looking for. You do have articles that you see later on in the book, but lo and behold, this, whether you want to call it ultimate, whether you want to call it definitive, just believe me, I have seen documentaries and other stuff that say definitive, and they're not. Like the definitive Ninja Turtles documentary, that's literally 60-70% of the history is missing, and I had a big argument with those guys because that got funded and all that stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't definitive. And they're like, you don't know what definitive means. I'm like, really? It's definitive, but 70% of the history? Anyway, this deserves the ultimate name. Every Super Nintendo game is looked at. Every single one. And like, you look at this layout. I love the way it's laid out. I wish there was a Genesis book like this layout. I wish there was a Sega CD, PlayStation 1. If anyone ever writes a book like that, of all of those other systems, this is a layout, well, I don't know if it'd be like stealing, but this is a layout which makes sense, because you get the look of the game, the cartridge, you get 4 pictures showing various parts of the game, you get what the game's about, person's thought process on it, a rating up top. And here's the thing, with any review book, you're always going to disagree on stuff. That happens with every review. The only one you won't disagree is the one you write. Let's be honest. But if they do a good job, even if you disagree, they do a nice job with them saying why they liked or disliked it, and they do a great presentation, and even just to look at. Even if you don't want to read it, even if you just want to look, this is a great coffee table book to just pick up and look at all the games through this system. And the reviews are either done by Pat Contry or his buddy Ian Ferguson or a number of other people, which I think are mentioned at the beginning here. Not sure if it's the beginning or the end it's mentioned. Yeah. This team are who, and their initials are at the end of the review. So whether it be KY, and no, that doesn't mean the state of Kentucky has their approval of this game, but and again, they go through any game you can think of. There's Batman Returns, 4 stars, and this is out of 5. I agree with that. That's a fun game. I had that for Super Nintendo. Bazooka Blitzkrieg. That's when you had that bazooka looking thing for Super Nintendo. I'm not going to go through every single one. Just for people that actually get a nice look at it. The pages are sturdy. The pages don't feel like tissue paper. They don't feel like you're going to tear it and you have to get tweezers and no. The pages are sturdy. They feel good. You're not going to get residue or fingerprints on it. Like if even see, there's nothing like coming off. Like, oh my god, there's just some will buy cheap stuff. You just rub, it comes off. It doesn't do that. Again, sturdy paper. Again, doesn't feel like tissue paper. Doesn't feel like, oh, again, I gotta be careful like a bomb disposal unit. Be intricate. Cliffhanger, 2 stars. Yeah, that's a fair one because I love the movie, but this is a pain in the ass game. Although better than the Sega CD, because the Sega CD has the worst level I've ever played in my life. Because I don't remember Stallone going down a mountain on a snowboard. But in the Sega CD, Stallone's character goes down a mountain in a snowboard is the most infuriating level I've ever played in a fucking video game. So if this is 2, that alone would give, a 1 to the Sega CD. Contra 3, 4.5. Classic game. Tough, but classic game. The 7-Up mascot had his own game, yes. Doom, 4 stars. That's a fair rating. I had this for Super Nintendo. This is a good port of Doom with the capabilities they had on Super Nintendo. Orphan Jim, 4 out of 5. Earthbound, a lot of people like this one. I'm not good at RPGs, but 5. Football Fury, Flintstones. Yes, they may remember the movie with, what was it? Is this based on the movie? Can't remember. May not be. Anyway. Yeah, I think that's the characters from the movie with John Goodman. And then another Flintstones game. Let's see. I'm curious, like Final Fight. What did Final Fight get? And I'm saying that's all alphabetical, easy to find. Final Fight 3.5. That's a fair rating. I might give it 4, but I know there's some stuff that's missing from the arcade. I think if some parts of the arcade was put in this, probably would have gotten a 4. It's been a while since it's a lot of stuff to read through, but it's a great reading material. It's hard to remember with my memory every review. But this will take you weeks to get through. Like all this content. And again, spaced out, each one given their own time to shine. And it's not like, oh, I'm just going to do 1 year, or I'm going to do a couple games. No. Got a team together, go through each game. And this stuff is what genre? When was it released? July 1995 for King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. By Enix. 1 player. Mega Man. Mega Man X, I should say. Your NBA. Oh, I thought that said Musty. I'm like, there's a game called Musty? No. Musia. Never played that one. No Escape. Remember that movie, Ray Liotta? Yep, it had its own video game. I don't even know if it has a Blu-ray, but it has its own video game. Yeah, that's not the best movie, to be fair. It's not. It's not the worst movie I've seen, though. Yeah, it goes on from there. Hubert, SOS, Street Hockey, Street Fighter 2, 4.5 out of 5, but then the Street Fighter Hyper, Turbo, Hyper Fighting, that gets 5. Because, it's an improvement on this one. It has more features on it. Super Castlevania. Let's look at Super Castlevania. That's one of my favorites of Super Nintendo. A lot of Super back in the day with Super Nintendo. Half their games had to be called Super. Super. There you go. Classic like that gets its own page. Its own page. 5 stars damn straight. Easily one of my favorite games of Super Nintendo. Let's see, let's go to Super Godzilla, right there. Super Smash TV, I remember having that when I was a kid. Super Star Wars, hard as hell. Pain in the ass game to play, but it's well made for what it's supposed to be. I'm looking for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Here. Yeah. 5 stars. Good rating. Maybe my favorite game for Super Nintendo. Based on the arcade. I wish the first arcade game got a Super Nintendo one. I don't know why it didn't. But Turtles in Time did. Great job. 3.5. I mean, that's a fair rating. I might give it 4, but I'm a big Ninja Turtle freak, and I think this is a fun fighting game. So I might put an edge on with 4, but this is a good one. But 3.5 is a fair rating. And it goes on from there. And even to Wayne's World, 1.5. That should be like a 0. At least to me. To me, it'd be like, this is a 0. If you piss in the wind, it'd be more fun than playing Wayne's World for Super Nintendo. Good movie, but a shitty game. Wrestling, we got the wrestling games. See, apparently the best one. I played Royal Rumble. That was a fun game. 3.5 is a fair rating. And then the arcade game, 3.5. That's a fair, for what I've seen people play, to be. The Royal Rumble, I did play this back in the day. I used to have this game back in the day. I was always either Bret Hart or Razor Ramon. I would always play as. This one was Zardian. I had this when I was a kid. This 3-star. That's a fair rating. Okay, I think of other words than fair. I don't know. I don't know why I like the word fair now. I use it like 15 times. Have a drinking game. Yeah, alcohol poisoning by the time you get done with this video. But this was, I remember, for some reason, being a pain in the ass to play. I don't know if it's. I don't know why though. It's been forever since I played that. But anyway, gets all that. But what's also cool is that that's not all. It goes into special cartridges that do certain things. Which is very nice for the history. And something I didn't mention, each one of these, look at the background. If you may not be able to see it, but in the background there is color. It's either one of the screens kind of in the background. So you see here it's like red. I didn't know wasted space. I thought they actually looked cool. This could have just been white or black, but the fact that each one has its own color palette because of that, that's a nice little detail that I appreciate. It's like even back here, like at the bottom here, that just reminds you of the games you're watching and reviewing, and even like here with this stuff here. I wonder. I don't know if they just couldn't think of a game to put on here, or maybe this is for, maybe because it's cement they wanted to showcase more of it. I don't know. But they even have games that were overseas, like Clock Tower, Super Famicom of Clock Tower. Interesting enough. And they do have, I mean, there's not a lot of, granted, you can't find much info on this stuff, but there's, so you know that's what kind of paper when you can, that's sturdy paper when you can make noise on it. But they go into also games that were not finished. Yeah, unreleased games. And yes, where the hell are you? You piece of shit. Congo. Because there's not much you can talk about. These games weren't finished. So how can you really review a game that isn't finished? And the people involved with these games, they're like nowhere around to talk. So what can you say about where are you, you piece of shit? Yeah, this piece of shit. This piece of shit there. Steven Seagal. I played this. I still have a playthrough of this on the channel. It seemed like a good chunk of this game was done. Because I got to what maybe was the last stage. But you couldn't beat it because it wasn't programmed. At least I couldn't. But this game is a piece of shit. And there's a lot more in this game than these two. But if you speak more of this game, you make you explode. Your head explodes scanner style. But you know, stuff that came with the systems. And then nice articles. The console wars. Mean Sally's written by James Rolfe. I have my issues with James Rolfe nowadays. The whole, I mean, yeah, anyway. I talked about that. I have my issues with the guy. I mean, fuck, I'll say it. The whole thing where he did these Monster Madness movie reviews and he has people writing the reviews for him. I'm sorry, if you don't do a movie review, you yourself should do the movie review. It's you saying it, not someone else write it for you. And then they stole articles from other people like 28 days later. I don't think there's any reason for that. Yeah, you're busy, but you know what? That'd be like if someone said, hey, let's see, a name I recognize. DGKY. Okay, like some of these, like, okay, PC, Pat Country. If it says he did this review, but then you find out someone else did the review. And someone else wrote this up, and this is all written by, they copied 3 websites. You'd be like, well, that's kind of bullshit. Just saying. That's just my take on it. You don't have to agree with me. No, you know, it's a free country. Well, kind of a free country nowadays. But yeah, some nice articles, which I'm not going into detail. But, you know, you get your money's worth on this. I didn't even just to look at, and these are the people who backed it. So special thanks. You know, quite a bit of people. But it was worth it. Like I said, I hope someone does this for PlayStation or Genesis. Like Sega Genesis. Like, there is a book about Sega Genesis. But it looks kind of lame, honestly. But, yeah. I know the Pat Country has a website you can buy this on, or just type in like Ultimate Nintendo Guide to SNES. You'll you'll find it on there. And yeah, this is well worth it, in my opinion. Same with the Nintendo, and I'll show that just a little bit. And this is the regular Nintendo. Like I said, no space wasted. And I'll go quick on this. Same type of design. Every Nintendo game, they don't shortchange you, they don't rip you off. Like I said, the same sturdy pages, colorful. You know, they have 4 at the bottom there. So it's like this one is like, you know, 2 or 4, either 2 top, 2 at the bottom, or 4 at the bottom. So very cool. Like again, I love the way this is done. I think it's a great structure for it. Like one day, if I ever had the time, I would love to do something like this for like 80s action movies. We have like the poster and maybe still shots from the film and then thoughts on the film. But I could just imagine how much time it took to do this, and I would not know what the hell I'd be doing, so I would fail. But if there was a way to do it, I would like to do it like this. And like a poster of the film, talking about the film. Of course, with me, the way I taught, it'd be like fucking a full page for each movie. But it's in color too, it's not in black and white. Because black and white would be cheaper, but I like that you went for the color, which is, it has to. Like the Genesis book is kind of like, a game would be like, the Genesis book you find on Amazon, it's like this big for each game, and there's like one picture. And for each game, it's like one picture, a few thoughts, boom. And then here's another game. I mean, you probably have like 2-3 games where this has one. So it just feels like you get more money for your... You get more for your money's worth. Again, like a lot of extra stuff as well. Games from overseas, stuff you would buy with it. I like this with the black background. I think that looks really cool. I will say that's one thing I do wish that was kept for this one. Like you see how it's all this black background with white text. I think that's more pleasing to the eyes. But Super Nintendo, I don't know if he got feedback to not do that or something. Like you see here, it's not a big deal, but just something like see it's more white. I don't know if he got feedback or whatnot, but I do kind of wish, that's the only little thing I'll say is, I do wish it was more of the black with the white text. Just something about that is just more pleasing to the eye, for me personally, but it's still pretty cool. And even on the back, like you have pictures of Super Nintendo games, or here, pictures of Nintendo games. And it said, no waste of space in the back here. Unreleased NES games. Okay, that's really... This is like alternate covers, like Gauntlet had 2 different ones. The gray and the black. Yeah, if you... I mean, yeah, $70 is a lot of money. I believe me, this is me talking. This is me talking, I'm a cheapskate. But I will say this, I do think, don't break camcorder, I do think this stuff is worth, and again, didn't get paid for this, didn't get anything, I bought this with my own money a long time ago, and I think I did a video on one of these a long time ago, but again, just for those who, you know, Nintendo, and Super Nintendo. I do think these are the best books about these 2 systems. If it's about the games, little bit of info, reviews. I do think these are the best bets. And again, with these two, you can kill someone with this. Self-defense. In fact, this could be body armor. Especially if I put both of them. Like, if I put both of them, it probably would stop a bullet. This would stop a bullet. Like, ugh. So. Again, I hope someone does this for, like, Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis. At least Sega Genesis. Maybe a Sega CD as well. That'd be cool if, like, someone did this. Again. Like, this style with this effort. Like, I see the effort in this. That's the thing. I'm a guy that complains a lot about effort and the lack of it. There's a lot of effort in that. There's a lot of heart, passion, and merit in that. I just see it, I feel it, and I was just flipping through it. I'm like, you know what, let me do a video on it, just because. I think it's, you know, books I'm glad to have. It was worth every penny to me. So, and just saying that. Again, fair, I just do it just because I was recording other stuff. Why not? So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.